Secrets of the Chosen Few, a Poekoelan Tjimindie instructional video by Guru John L. Malterer. Greetings, my name is Guru John L. Malterer, teacher of Poekoelan Tjimindie. First member is David Briding in black. Second member is Sid Kuntz, also in black. And third member is Ronald Ross in white. Breath control, or breath manipulation, is of paramount importance when fighting. In order to do this technique, you have to breathe or take a sharp breath through tense nostrils, then into the lower lungs, and top down into the lower lungs, to the upper part of the lungs. Now, in order to do this, you have to use stomach tension, usually by expanding the stomach out slightly like this. On exhalation, breathe through a tense esophagus. So you breathe through the nose, a sharp breath through tense nostrils, through the upper, down the lower lungs, using the stomach to expand, drawing the air down low. Exhalation coming back up through a tense esophagus. Like this. It goes down low and comes right back up again. This also helps remove fear. In order to properly learn Poekoelan Tjimindie, we will start by studying the Southern Chinese system, which is characterized by a wide, low stance and a lead hand and backhand position as so. From the ground up, we have our feet on the balls. We're not a flat-footed position here. You don't want a flat-footed position because it cuts down your mobility. When you move with this, you'll be on the balls of your feet all the time, due to the fact that mobility kicks and counter kicks come out of there much faster that way. So we have our feet apart, the knees bent on the balls of the feet. The body is erect and upright on top, the back hands tucked in right alongside the body and face. The lean hands extended right in line with the lead leg. Like this. Now you don't want the hand down here, you want it right about here. To see from a frontal position, we're looking at this. You can see on the balls of the feet, back hand here, lead hand here. So we have a forward and backwards type movement depending on what we want to do. Now the first thing we're going to learn will be how to attack out of this, attack and counter attack. This is done with the lead leg joint kick. Now the lead leg joint kick coming out of this position is what makes this position viable. Without the lead leg joint kick, a wide low stance like this is not a good position to be in. It gets its power and its effect from that joint kick. From the side, we can see you shift your weight to the rear, the leg is cocked, pulled up into the body, the foot extends, and the weight comes forward like so. Now you can see when we do this, the back leg will pivot in with it. See, there's a body rotation and a pivot. This pivoting torquing action, plus the extension of the kick with the body weight behind it, is what gives it its power and its ability to break somebody's leg. Now again, from this position here, you shift your weight back, pull the leg up, extend out, pivot, and there's the kick. Now when you do this, you have to remember, you don't want to pull the kick up to where you'll find your weight on the back leg like this. If you do that and somebody charges it, knock you over backwards. When you cock the leg, you have to feel like you're going to come forward, see? See, that's that weight coming behind that gives the kick its power. Now we're going to bring one of our attackers in here dressed in black for contrast to illustrate this point. What we're going to do now is we're going to use our camera, we're going to shoot in, and we're going to show you how this technique works from the waist down, a little more of a close-up view. So our cameraman will bring our camera in. We have our position, the attacker is facing you, you're in the proper position on the balls of the feet, shift the weight back, cock the leg, extend it, the pivoting action, down he goes. Just like that. Okay. What you have to understand is on impact, you hit with the center part of the foot just above the kneecap, right about here. For this type of kick, which is an extended power, a thrust piercing type kick, you want to hit just above the kneecap. Now as you pivot the body, the hips and the whole body pivots and a torquing action is generated from the base foot all the way up. The lead foot impacts, extends forward all the way to a locked position. And then it goes beyond that to the joint will hyperextend, and down the man goes. Now what happens here is the joint comes together. There's a kneecap in front, and there's ligaments and tendons that hold it together and make it function. When you impact that thing and lock it and go beyond that, it hyperextends. Now there isn't a break here. What you hear is like a crunching or a popping or cracking sound. What that is, the ligaments being ripped off the joint itself. Now once that happens and the man goes down, that's the end of the fight. A man that can't walk can't fight. Now what you have to realize is if you do this to somebody, there better be a good reason for it. More than likely, the man's leg will never be the same again, and he'll be a partial or maybe even totally crippled because of it. So there better be a very strong reason. The man should be a very great threat to you for you to use this kick because of its potential to cripple. It will stop someone, there's no doubt about it. Even if they're on drugs, they're all doped up or whatever, and they can't feel it. Once that joint breaks and the man goes down, he can't stand up. And like I said, a man who can't stand up cannot fight. Now, in order to practice this thing, I'm going to explain to you how to do it on your own and then with a partner. Get your position, wide low position. Always check yourself from the ground up. Heels up on the balls of the feet. Stomach pulled in with slight stomach tension. Back hand tucked in this position. Lead hand out here in line with the lead leg, fingers and thumbs together. Shift your weight slightly to the rear. Pull your knee up and your leg up into the body to where you feel the weight coming forward. And then extend the kick out here and then recover. Now you'll find when you extend the kick out, you pop, pivot, and extend the kick out, you're in an extended or forward position. When you practice it by yourself, for the next repetition, just pull the lead leg back up to recover the original position, and then do it again. Just like that, and recover. Now you can also practice this thing in front of a mirror. You can practice it sideways, looking into the mirror. You can also turn to the front like this, like so, and see how it would look to someone you're fighting. Remember, ground up, heels up, shift the weight slightly to the rear, cock the leg, extend the kick, and then recover. Keeping these hands up, don't drop it down, that's important. So that's how you want to do this. Get your position, feet apart, knees bent, heels up, on the toes, lead hand, back hand, check yourself out. Pull the leg up, extend the kick out, pivoting on the base leg. The foot sits down, recover the position, do it again. That's how you practice it by yourself. Now in order to do it with a partner, we're going to call in Sid here to help me out. Excuse me. When you practice with a partner, you're going to have to understand one thing. This kick is extremely dangerous. It has a great potential to cripple someone. So when you practice it with your partner, you're going to have to do it at a slower speed, what we call slow motion training. If you go fast, I'm telling you, you're going to hurt them on first kick. So you have to do it slow in order to avoid injury. You can really hurt someone with this thing. I can't emphasize that enough. Now the attacker, or the target in this case, will position his feet in such a method for learning, like this with the knee bent, hands up in fighting position, offering you a target to practice with. Remember what I said about slow motion training. Now foot positioning, feet apart, knees bent, just like this. You want the knees on top of the feet, don't let them cave in like that. Knees on top of the feet, stomach pulled in, slight stomach tension. Proper position of the hands. Now you'll notice how close we are. In Poekoelan Tjimindie, this is long distance fighting, believe me. This is not close in fighting. Whoever coined the term toe-to-toe fighting knew what they were talking about. Anybody that fights real far apart will not be effective, and it's going to be a long, drawn-out affair. You don't want that. So here we are in this position here, hands in proper position. Remember the basics, heels up on the balls of the feet, cock the leg up, extend it, kick out and through with a push. Down the attacker goes. Now a target, when he feels his leg lock up, he'll feel the weight. Let your weight continue through, feel the weight force him off of his feet. If the leg isn't even broken, the leverage and the body weight of the defender will be enough to lock the leg up and force him down in those sitting positions we just illustrated. So that's how you practice that. Practice the man with the one leg forward, practice the other foot forward. His left leg forward. Same drill. Toe to toe. Shake yourself out. Cock the leg. Extend the foot. Just like that. Help the man up. Because remember, you'll be a target too with your partner. Again, I can't emphasize the slow motion end of it to avoid injury. You can really hurt someone with this kick. What we've just learned and practiced is the cornerstone of Poekoelan Tjimindie, the joint kick. This is one of our very powerful weapons and is a weapon that is an equalizer. In other words, this kick can be used by a small person against a larger individual. It sort of brings them down on an equal or even status and gives a small person a chance against a larger, more powerful opponent. This could be greatly, or an extreme example, be a small woman and a large man. Without the joint kick, then the small person is at a tremendous disadvantage. You have to have that. To complement the joint kick, again, with that idea in mind, the small versus a large person, we get into what we call poison hand hitting. Now, this is an unconventional way of hitting. This method here gives the small person the ability to get off 2 or 3 weapons in approximately the space of time it takes to get off one conventional one. A conventional weapon being defined as a fist from a position as this, for example, which comes from here, goes all the way out to its target, and comes back. It's a linear type weapon coming from the body out and back. Whether it's done this way or whether it's done this way in a straight or a hook or whatever you want to call, that is what I term or we term in Poekoelan Tjimindie a conventional weapon. Poison hand hitting is an unconventional weapon. It doesn't work that way. Its principles are based on a circular as opposed to a linear for the conventional weapon. To understand poison hand, you have to realize there is not a wind-up. There is not a preparatory cocking of the hands in order to generate force or power in the hand weapons. This preparatory cocking will warn your enemy, the man you're fighting, as to your intentions. So you don't want to do that. So to do poison hand hitting, first of all, we'll back up a tad and we'll learn how to make a good fist. It doesn't hurt to review this. Take the hand, rotate the fingers into the palm of the hand like this, so you have this. This thumb locks these first 2 fingers and these knuckles into position. Now what you do on impact with a fist is you squeeze it. The muscles squeeze the hand. What this does is tenses it up and makes that punch very solid. Now the reason you want to do that is for 2 reasons. One, a solid punch will hurt the man you're fighting that's trying to hurt you. Also, a solid fist will prevent your fist from being hurt because everything's tensed, all the bones are packed in a small package and are not in a position to be broken. So you have to remember, when you make a fist, open hand to closed position, roll the fingers in, lock it with the thumb, and then on impact, squeeze the fist. Now, as previously explained, poison hand develops its energy or power from a circular type hit. And to understand that, we get our basic position from the waist up. I'm not concerned with the waist down right now. And just focus on the lead hand, this position here. How it works is the hand rotates, we go into the fist like so, shifting the weight forwards. The fist comes up, here's your first impact, your first 2 big knuckles like this. Now there's a small movement here I'll show you from the side. As this comes up, bam. You see that snap of the wrist, that's the first jolt. After this, it's all circular in nature. It comes back around like it, hits with the base of the fist like this, then comes back around, with a chopping action, brings these knuckles into the face. Now this chopping or slashing action to the right target will chop that face open. Now you hit the right target, the man's going to be reeling. When this is done in conjunction with the joint kick, this 1-2 shot 9 times out of 10 win the fight. So again, we're starting from here. We shift the weight forward, the hand rotates, we go in the fist, we have the upward type snap. We come around to the first hit, base of the fist, we come around the second hit, a chop. Again, from here, rotate the hand, making the fist, coming up with that snap, squeeze the fist. Remember that. Relax slightly, come around the next shot, squeeze the fist, impact. Come around the next shot, squeeze the fist, that chop tight blow. Just like so. When you do this, this is done with stomach tension. Also, this stomach tension regulates muscular body tension. So when you have a tense stomach all the time, this is accomplished by pulling in slightly. The rest of the body is relaxed. On impact, we have extra tension applied to the arm and the fist, just like I explained, in order to get the force. Now you can see how that's done. We'll do a little bit of a side view here. From here, rotating around, snap, shifting our weight back, recoil, tension, hit, coming back, tension, hit. Just like so. Now we're going to practice this with a partner. Have your partner stand facing you just like this in a relaxed position. Now remember, you have to do this slow motion just like we did the joint kick. Get your position. Don't worry about the backhand right now. Lead hand, proper position. Rotate the hand, make the fist. Bring in an upward, tight, extended into the nose just like that, or above the teeth. Second weapon comes around a circular fashion. Squeeze the fist on impact. Third one winds up, comes around the other way, does a knuckle-type chop into an eye socket, just like this. Now do that again. From here, rotate the fist, bring it into the nose, first hit, second hit comes around, squeeze the fist, third hit comes around, takes a chop out of the face. Now what we have to realize here is the targets that you want to hit and the targets you don't want to hit. You don't want to punch them in the jaw or the teeth due to the fact that a lot of guys can take that. And not only that, but you could chop your knuckles up on his teeth and end up with a very bad day. The lead hand punch can be to the throat. It can be into the nose area or the eye socket area between the eyes or the top of the bridge of the nose. Any one of those targets will give good results as far as incapacitation or injuring your enemy and prevent him from hurting you. Now the next weapon, after the lead hand weapon hits any one of those targets, comes around right at the base of the ear. This is a real good target here. When you squeeze out an impact and hit that hard, you'll get good results here. When you bring this back around again, go into the eye socket, right along the side of the cheek. The skin here is soft and will chop it open, usually about a 2-inch gash. Lots of blood. More than likely, the joint kick, and you'll get one shot in, and that's it. The next two won't hit anything. But we always do that just in case. You can never hit somebody too many times to save your health or your life. You can't hit them too few times and end up in the hospital or worse. So you always overtrain and do more than you have to do. So remember that. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to show you how to put the joint kick and the poison hand weapon together, where things are starting to come together a little bit and they complement one another. Now we're going to practice this by putting the joint kick and the poison hand weapons together. So what you do, again, get your proper position, feet apart, knees bent, balls of the feet, back hand proper position, lead hand proper position. Stomach pulled in slightly, slight stomach tension. Shift your weight slide to the rear, cock the leg, joint kick, extend forward, there's your first hit. Coming around, there's your second hit, coming around, there's your third hit. And then recover the original position. Again, shift your weight slightly to the rear, cock the leg, extend, hit, first, second, third. We'll take a look at this from this way. From here, shift your weight to the rear, cock the leg, extend and hit. 1, 2, 3. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring in a partner in order to practice this with. Alright, now remember, slow motion folks. No big impact, no great speed, because that's how you learn. Do this too fast, too soon, you're going to mess it up. It's not going to come out right, and you won't be able to use it. The attacker, for the purpose of this training, will assume a position with his feet like so, the knee bent, hands, and we'll have it down here so you can see what we're doing. So we can practice a joint kick and lead hand weapon. Get your position. Remember what I said about toe-to-toe fighting. That's about as far away from them as you want to get while you're fighting. If you can get away from them altogether, fine. If you can't, you're going to have to stand and fight. You better be a good one, because if you don't, you lose, you're going to be hurt. Okay, proper hand and foot position. Balls of the feet. Cock the leg, extend through. First hit, second hit, third hit. Help the man up again. Now make sure that when you do the joint kick and you practice each other, the kick actually takes the man down. Now you're going to do a lot of falling around a little bit, learning to do this until you get the balance right. It's going to take a little bit of practice. The big thing is to keep the knees bent and don't straighten up as you move in or lock the legs. You're going to have to shift your weight into the man and go with him. See, with this method, in the event that the joint kick and the lead hand, poison hand don't get him, there's other weapons that follow, and you'll be going towards them and you'll be able to pursue him. If you were to, say for example, shift the weight, hit him and bring the foot back to the original position, you're not getting anywhere. You understand? When you got the man, you attack him, you got to go with him. You got to go after him. And you want to go through him. And Poekoelan Tjimindie, we capture the man's space. That means you go right through him. In other words, pursue and destroy. If you don't, he'll do it to you. Again, proper position. The attacker's ready for the target. Proper position, cock the leg, extend through. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Again, I can't emphasize it. Slow motion training. With the foot through, extend and come down. Lead hand comes in, get in your free weapon. Now, in practice, is putting the joint kick and the poison hand together into an attack combination. We call it a poison hand joint kick attack, or a poison hand joint kick multiple attack, where we're using those two weapons in order to pursue and eventually catch and hurt our enemy. Now usually what happens here, when you get in your position, go after the man's trying to get away from you in order to get a better position, wait out your attack, and then launch his own counterattack. So that's why you have to pursue until you catch up to him and run him over. Remember, capture his space to prevent him from using that strategy. Now, in the multiple poison hand joint kick attack, we'll start out with our basic position. Feet apart, knees bent, heels off the ground, back hand tucked in here. We'll find out what this is for a little later. Lead hand, proper position. Shift our weight slightly to the rear, cock the leg, joint kick, 1, 2, 3. Now, in order to reload for another kick, you don't want to shift backwards. You bring the back leg forwards a little bit, shift your weight, kick, 1, 2, 3. Okay? See how the back leg comes in. Another kick, 1, 2, 3. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Now you can see with this extended power how we're moving in a linear sense in order to catch up to and overrun the opponent. When this is done very fast, it can be quite effective. We'll see that a little bit later. So again, we'll shoot that a little bit from here. I'll back up a little bit and we'll move forwards. So you can see from this angle, a little bit farther away, and you can see how we make our move here. Proper hand position, joint kick, 3 weapons, joint kick, 3 weapons, joint kick, 3 weapons, right? Right? And see how we're advancing and making progress. This kick and this hand weapon combination requires a commitment. That means you're going to have to be ready and willing to employ it and extend the body, that is your limbs, forwards in order to extract the full effect out of it. This is not something you want to fool around with or do half-heartedly. It has to be a complete aggressive, as aggressive you can make it move. There isn't any fighting move that will work unless it's done aggressively. So when you do this, you have to do it with maximum extension on the kick, maximum extension on the hand weapons. Shift the weight forward and reach out and through the man in order to hurt the man. That's the only way you're going to do it. So we're going to use a partner here. Come on in. In order to practice with a partner, the man will have to go with you a little bit. And you know you're going to catch up with him eventually. Even in the street, you're going to run into something that will block his escape. Telephone pole, wall, something. Somewhere he's going to trip on something or just stop running from you and catch this guy. If you're lucky, the man will turn around and just take off. And then everybody's better off. Alright. So we start out here. The man's in his position. We get in ours. Remember what I told you, toe-to-toe fighting. This really shows and helps you gauge the distance. Cock the leg, joint kick, boom, boom, boom. He backs up, another joint kick. Okay, 3 more weapons. 3 more weapons. 3 more weapons. And the last, down he goes. Now, what you'll discover when you attack someone in an aggressive manner and they're under extreme pressure, you can see this in boxing matches on TV, fights on TV. When someone is being attacked to the legs, the body or the reaction is to lock the legs up like this to escape the kick. That's when they run into the hand weapon. Now, when the hand weapons come, they'll lean the body back to get away from them. By straightening up and leaning the body back, they're not able to fight effectively because the body is all stretched out and will not be able to deliver any fighting movements in that position. So once you put that man in that kind of duress and everything straightens up and he tries to get away from you, he's lost all aggressive action, is on total defensive mode. You are on total aggressive mode. Now, a little later, we'll show you how to follow this up with elbows and knees. They'll absolutely positively end the fight in the event that the joint kick and the poison hand doesn't. So you can see how we practice this with a partner. Depending on how long the room is, determines how far you can take it. But it's an aggressive action. It's a pursuing action. It has to be done with as much aggression as you can muster. So now, what we're going to do here, what I want to explain here is I want to put the breath control into this. Now remember when I started at the beginning of the instructional video that I explained the proper breath control. And that was okay if you practice it and you got the idea of it. So now we're going to have to put it in here and understand how it works in a fighting environment and what its purpose is. You cannot perform any type of aggressive fighting action without air in the lungs. Once the air is all gone out of the lungs, the human body has to inhale to get some more before it can do anything. So you want to prevent this. When you're in our position here, before or preparatory action before attacking an individual is to get air. Now in order to get air, either lean back slightly or back up slightly. When you back away a little bit, that's the time you take to gain air, to pump the air up. Remember I told you, breathe through the nose, down through the stomach, and sharp inhalations, exhalations. Usually 2 or 3 will pump up enough air to get going. This will also eliminate fear and pump you up psychologically to pursue the attack. Now once you're full of air, and when you attack, on each aggressive action, joint kick, poison hand, you exhale a little air. You don't inhale. Understand? Exhale each time. A little exhale, a little exhale. Now once you got about a quarter air left, a little bit less, that's the time to back away and pump up air again. Because if you attack and you run out of air, there's a gap in there that can be exploited by a wily fighter that he can hurt you before you get any more air. And this might be a little bit complex, but it's not really. All you got to do is run it back a few times in order to understand it, then get out on the floor and practice it slowly. The slow motion training is the tool that we use in order to learn how to do this and put it together. If you try and rush it and do it fast, it won't work. It's not going to work for you. The body will not have the time that it needs to assimilate and learn in order to employ something like this in a real-life fighting situation. In the unpleasant event that the lead leg joint kick and the poison hand weapon combination does not drop the man you're fighting, or at least push him backwards for a follow-up strike, then we must employ the back hand and the back leg. Now to do this, the back hand weapon, remember the position we had our lead hand out, and then we had the back hand was here. Lead hand here, back hand was tucked in here. Now this is for protection here, we'll get that later. It's also as a backup for this lead hand weapon. We always do things in combinations, and we never totally rely on one weapon to do the job. Now the backhand weapon comes right behind the lead hand weapon. How you do this is the hand pivots in, makes the fist. Remember how I told you make the fist? Fingers wrapped, thumb locks. On impact, we squeeze the fist. We pivot the body, and the fist comes right over top, just like this, as far as you can get it. And comes back, here and back. We do that from a funnel position like this, and we notice it comes like this, see? Comes right up, shoots right up here. This is a conventional weapon here, what we would refer to as a conventional weapon. It hits the same targets as the lead hand weapon does, either the throat, the nose, or either one of the eye sockets, or right between the eyes. But again, we never want to totally rely on one type of weapon, whether it's conventional or unconventional. We mix them up, keep the enemy off balance. Now to do this, if you can find a mirror, it's great to do that. You can practice in front of the mirror, check your form. If you can't, you have to do the best you can, practice with your partner. Again, we have the pivoting action. Make the fist, pivoting the hips, rotating the body, and the stomach tension. Come out and come back. Don't leave it hang. Out and back. Out and back. Now, as far as the breath control goes here, remember we have the air. As we deliver the weapon, we exhale a little bit of air, pull the weapon back. All right, we're going to practice the partner now. Get the scene here in order to see how this works with the partner. All right, here we have here. To practice this, remember get your proper position in the back hand. Just pivot the body, make the fist, extend the weapon up to the nose, the throat, or either one of the eye sockets is okay. Get real good effect at hitting there. That's a real good shot. A good shot to the throat will drop just about anybody. So I would recommend that if you can do it. Again, practice from both sides. You can also practice with one of those focus mitts or hand targets when you do the backhand weapon, and you can use it with a poison hand too. You just have to turn the glove depending on which way the fist is coming. So in review, position here, pivoting, making the fist, extending to the target. This hand stays here, and come back. Alright, so again, get your hand target out if you have it. Practice hitting that. Remember all these things. Then, try and put it together. Lead leg joint kick. To do this, we assume our basic position on the balls of the feet. Lead hand, proper position. Back hand, proper position. Stomach pulled in, slightly tense. Shift your weight backwards. Little air through the nostrils. Cock the leg. Extend the joint kick, three weapons of the lead hand, pivoting, backhand weapon, and back again. You can do it again. Lead leg, lead hand, backhand, just like that. Now if we do it this way, into the camera, we see the shifting back, the drawing back, the inhalation of the air to get ready, the preparatory cocking of the leg, extending through, pivoting, three weapons of the lead hand, pivoting, backhand and back. Again, and back, just like that. to use a partner to illustrate this. Again, assume your basic position. Remember all the basics. This is how you work with your partner. Shift, kick, 2, 3, backhand, and back again. Just like that. Recover a little bit. Here. And back. The partner, practice without a partner. Again, remember, when you're practicing with a partner, go slow, take it easy. Any one of these weapons can seriously hurt somebody. Remember your breath control, shifting the weight to the rear, inhale, coming forward, holding the air, exhaling a little bit as you deliver your weapons. Back again, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. We have to have all these things put together properly in order for this to be most effective. In the combination, we're going to learn the back leg kick. We're from here, joint kick, poison hand, backhand, back leg, and recover, and repeat the sequence all over again. What this does, this gives you a combination here of lead leg, lead hand, back leg, and do it all over again. You can never hit your enemy on the street too many times. You can hit him too few and lose the fight. Now to do the back leg by itself, and practice everything by itself before we put it together, get your position, pivot the balls of the feet, kick this hand here like this, bring the knee up, waist high, toe up, bring the foot forward, and back. Real easy. Now the kick is aimed towards the groin, just below the belt. You don't want it any higher than that. Any high kick delivered on the street is delivered at extreme risk. The enemy can grab your foot and throw you down. Also, a kick above the waist does not have a great deal of energy behind it from body weight. It gets all its energy from the muscular contraction and extension of the attacking limb. In the event that there's a little bit of fear in there, who isn't scared in a street fight, and that kick doesn't have the muscular contraction and extension that you can do in class without under pressure, you're in big trouble. With the joint kick and the back leg, you've got body weight doing it. So we're making up for that by the proper employment of the body weight. You can see how we're using the body in addition to the muscular action of the extended limbs to do the damage. Now, from the front, it would look like this. Remember, on the balls of the feet, pivoting action, shift the weight forward, bring the knee up, toe up, extend the kick forward, into the groin, bring it back down. Put it together, joint kick, 3 weapons of lead hand, the backhand weapon, the back foot, and you can do it all over again. Now we're going to bring a partner in here again to illustrate this. With your partner, you can practice back and forth. Not only do you practice the weapons and practice the art as the defender, also as the attacker, you find out what it can do. You're on the receiving end of it. You know when that kick comes into the leg, what those fists can do to the face. So therefore, you have an idea of how effective it can be. Alright. Basic position, remember toe to toe. Shift your body weight back, inhale through the nose, forward, pivoting, 1, 2, 3. Good back to the throat, cock the leg, kick to the groin, and back again. Just like that. Okay, again, shift the weight back, extend, kick. 1, 2, 3. Backhand, back leg, and back out again. You can repeat this sequence as many times as you want and bang away at this guy. Or you can just do half of it, hit him lead leg and lead hand enough times until he's weakened to put a backhand and a back leg in there to force him backwards. Once he's on the run, then you can run him over the poison hand attack. And you have your first basic battle strategy. What we're going to study now is how to protect ourselves from incoming foot and hand weapons. This is accomplished in the Southern system with an open hand, palm heel, crack type or whip type of blow directed to the incoming foot or hand weapon. Now what we have to do here is when we study any type of method that defends our body against incoming foot and hand weapons, we have to look at it in reality as an aggressive act. We cannot define a parry or a block as a passive or defensive action, when in reality what we really want to do is aggressively attack the incoming foot and hand weapon in order to injure the incoming foot and hand weapon, thereby making an opening where we can counterattack with our own foot and hand weapons. Since the enemy's foot or hand is injured from our defensive action, then when we counterattack, he will be unable or be greatly impaired from counterattacking us. To do this, we have the lead hand and the back hand disposition. Now there's a reason for this. It's a psychological one. By your position of the body, hands, and feet, you can force the enemy into a virtual pre-selected or preordained mode of attack. So you know what he's going to do beforehand because the position dictates what form of attack he can use against you. So with these hands in this position, lead hand out here, back hand in here, the idea is to force the enemy to bring his weapons in a circular fashion to get around them in order to attack you. This makes it easier to defend. Now when he makes his move, you want to make an offensive, aggressive action with this hands against his extended limb. Now with the lead hand, we'll move the back hand for the time being. There's four. You have a crack here, one here, coming back, you have another one. This is done with this type of a movement here. The hands here, comes back a little bit, that's a wind-up crack. It comes back here, that's a wind-up crack. Now this is achieved by stomach tension. The stomach tension is how we muscularly control the muscles in the hand, and we can get that crack. So what you have to do is you have to practice that way. You make the move relaxed first, and then when you get down the idea, you put the tension in there to get the damaging crack that we want. So we have two high, one here and one here. We have one coming down low like this, the outside. In this position it comes down, and there's your crack there. Now the last one comes from here and comes around in a circular fashion, with a crack here. Remember, it's the stomach tension that controls this. Crack, 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 back to the original position, and crack. After each parry, you want to go back to the original position. Like that. So you have four with the lead hand. Now the back hand is the same thing. You have four here. You have one coming here. This is a crack here. You have one coming down low. That's a tough crack there. You have one coming back over here to protect the head here. You also have one coming down here. So when you're here, there's your crack down here. Coming down low here, there's another crack here. Coming across there is another crack. And there's the other one. So you have four pairs of the lead hand. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you have four of the back hand. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now when we practice this by ourselves, hopefully in front of a mirror, this is how you get the idea. Now these hands are out in front, like this. They're out there to act as a barrier between your face and body and the incoming weapons. They have to be out here. You don't want this hand back here. It doesn't do you any good there. You want it out here in these positions here where it can do you some good. So we have the lead hand, have a crack, crack, come down here, crack, come back down here with a crack, come back up, back hand, crack, crack, a crack here, and another one down here. So that's how you want to practice it. Remember, stomach tension will control the extended limbs cracking action. This is a whip type crack that hits the inside of the aggressor's arms. When you parry, you want to hit between the elbow and the wrist. That crack type action can cause some damage. What we're going to do now is we're going to practice this to the partner and see how it works out. What we're going to practice now is we're going to utilize these type of offensive cracking parries against a real live opponent. Now your attacker can get in a conventional type of hitting to get you started. Later on you can vary it and do different things. For beginning, keep it simple to work your skill up to a more complex level. Check yourself out from ground up, feet apart, knees bent, balls of feet, backhand just ahead of the face, right in close to the body, pivoting off the elbow joint. Lead hand right in line with the leg, where the hands split the man up in the middle. That's what you want. Now how you do this, practice this at least 5, maybe 10 times for each parry, and then we'll work our way up. We'll do it 3 times to give you an idea. Now the lead hand, when he comes in for his right high to get started, see, we hear that crack. Right? 3 times. Then we do it from the left side, or the left come in. Then we have the right left come in. Then we have the left lobe coming in. Then we practice with the backhand, with the right high. Then we do the left high. Then we do the right left. Then we do the left left. Like so. Now to do these, we have to know a few more things. When you're in your position, where should you be looking? If you look too high, you'll miss his feet. If you're watching for his feet, you'll miss his hands. So your object or your gaze should be approximately the center line, right about belt level, looking right there. Now when you do this, you have to remember one more thing. First center line gazing, and then when you're fighting, and you're in your position, you're fighting, the eyes should be wide open all the time. You should not blink. You should practice this in front of a mirror for extended periods of time until you keep the eyes open for 2-3 minutes at 1 hour. Now the reason for this is you want to avoid blinking in the middle of fighting, because blinking you miss something and get hit. As an example of this technique, the Japanese used to train their suicide pilots in this. When they'd be boring in on their target, they would approach and bore in with the eyes wide open, or not to blink. This way they would not miss, because if blink they might deviate off course and miss their target. So they come in eyes wide open right to the last. And this is the same thing we do. When you're fighting, you center line gaze, that way you can see his arms, you can see his feet. You have your hands in proper position, eyes wide open, you won't miss anything. Hopefully you should be able to react and fight in such a way that you can stop the man long before you'll have to blink. So remember, when you practice this thing, eyes wide open, center line gaze, 4 pairs of lead hand with a crack, too high, too low, back to center, 4th to backhand, too high, too low. Practice these one at a time until you build up your reflexive skill. Later on, have the man throw punches all over the place, coming straight in at you here, there, in unpredictable fashion. That way you'll be able to build your skill up real well. Now the hand movements on this are limited in nature, and they're actually the parries. The parries and the hand movements are the same. When you're moving around, the hands move up and down, just like this, and they have this side-to-side flag waving type movement. There's not a whole lot of movement to it, but it's distracting enough to hopefully confuse the opponent, keep you in a proper position, and the hand that's in motion has energy. So when you make your damaging crack type parries, you're going to hurt him. It's just that simple. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to get into another type of parry to augment this. Next we're going to get into what we call the double palm parry. Now this is in the event that the attacker is a large man and the weapons are coming, not only are they coming fast, but they're coming with a great deal of power. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to, in essence, gang up on the attacker. With the hands here, we practice single. Double palm parry, so you use both hands to augment that. So when you come in and hit that attacking extended arm, you have sufficient force and positioning to absorb and deflect that punch or that kick when we get into the kicks. Now from here, there's 4 of these. There's high from one side, high the other side, low coming down here, and low coming down here. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Remember, the hands are moving around. They move around a little bit independently, they move around together. See, you have this forwards and backwards body movement, which is the hallmark of this system. Parry, 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 and parry. Remember the stomach tension with the damaging cracks. You want to practice both sides. What we're going to do now is we're going to practice this with a partner and see how it works out. All right, now we're going to practice this with a partner. In the side position, the double palm parries, we're practicing too high and too low. Now before I have him throw the punches, just put your hands down for a second. We have the parry high, high to one side, parry high to the other side, parry low to one side, and parry low to the other side. This is almost like double paddles, is another way to explain it. Remember, when you do this, stomach tension, then extra tension in the hands on impact. Now if the attacker with his hands in position, again we'll be practicing this in order. Right hand high, right hand low, left hand high, and left hand low. Now you can hear from where you are the cracking type action. This is what you want. It's this damaging crack type action against the person's extremities that distracts them mentally with pain and gives you the chance to counterattack. We'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Remember, you want your hands moving to split them right down the middle. By this position, you can force into that type of action. Remember, to practice it one at a time until you catch on to it. A little later, you can do it with the person punching anywhere. Also, you can, when you get a little bit better at it, you can mix it up a little bit. Like if he starts throwing punches, you can do single palms, double, whatever you feel is necessary. Good. Like so. By these methods of using either the single or the double palm parry, what we have is we have a highly flexible way to respond to an attack in an aggressive manner that can hurt the incoming weapon. This is what we want. Remember, we can't think in passive terms. Even when you're backing up, you're attacking. When you're moving forward, you're attacking. Whatever you're doing is an aggressive attacking action, no matter what it is. So we always have to keep that in mind. Again, remember, we should be looking at the center. Eyes should be wide open. What we're going to do now is we're going to get into kick defenses. At this point, it is a good idea to explain the various target areas on the human body that come under attack by hand and foot weapons. From the top of the head to the neck level is the upper gate. From the neck to just below the groin is the middle gate. From the groin to the bottom of the feet is the lower gate. Now, from the groin up, we use our hands to defend ourselves. From the groin down, we use our feet to defend ourselves. There is a little bit of overlap from approximate waist to groin level where you can use either the hands or the feet in order to accomplish this end. Now remember, when you do this, you can't drop your hands way low because that opens the upper gate. On the other hand, you don't want to keep your hands up too high and open the middle gate. So we have to keep this in mind when we do our various aggressive defensive maneuvers. Remember, we'll be attacking the extremities. Now to get into kick defenses, we're going to concentrate on the hands, so that is from the middle and upper gate. We use in this system that we're studying right now, almost exclusive use of double palm parries. And that's a very simple reason. A kicking leg is much more powerful than a punching hand. So we need to double up on a kick in order to be successful and defend ourselves. Again, it's the same as we did when we practiced the punches. It's the same four. You have here and here, here and here. The same type of maneuver can work against kicks. Remember, you're aggressively going after, you want to give it a damaging crack against these type of weapons. There'll be more things we'll be doing, but we're going to build on top of this basis. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to get a partner and we're going to practice it. All right, now we're going to practice with our partner. Have your partner assume an attacking position. Keep it simple for beginning. Something like this will do real nice. We're going to work on our kick defenses from here up. Remember the double palm, stomach tension on impact. Tension on the hands too. So we're here, the man throws a kick with his right leg high. So you deflect that. Right leg low. Now he switches position, does the same thing with his left leg. Left leg high, left leg low. All right, now we're going to practice a side kick with the right, with the left. Now you can see what we want to do with this. These double palm hits, not only do they deflect the kick out of the way and avoid hitting you, they also spin the man around and make the counterattack possible. So then the next big question, what's the counterattack? The counterattack is the lead leg, the lead hand, the back hand, and the back leg. Just that simple. So when you do this, have them prearrange everything to build up your skill. When you feel you're good at it, then mix it up a little so you don't know which way the kick is coming. When you get that down, then put the hand weapons and kicks together. But keep doing it slow to build your skill. As you go along, have the man attack faster. For example, have him get in a fighting stance. Maybe have him start out with some punches, not real fast. Practice your single, your double word if you need it. Then have the man add the kicks. Go ahead. Then your punches and your kicks. Like so. So you can see where you put it together. Now these hands are right down the middle. Keep them in the middle. They're in front of you. They're what defend you. Always parry and return. No matter what it is, parry and return. All your positions, whether it's single palm, or double palm, parry and return. Keep these up in front of you and out there, and they'll take care of you. Remember the stomach tension, impact, the cracking in the hands, eyes wide open, gaze directly at the midsection. What we want to do now is we're going to add a new dimension of this to make it more effective than it was before. We're going to use our body position. Remember, balls of the feet apart, knees bent, knees on top of the feet, back hand proper position, lead hand proper position, gaze on the midsection, eyes wide open. Now in addition to those cracking, deflecting type parries, at the same time we lean back and shift our weight to the back leg. The reason we do this is an added extra safety precaution, just in case the man's attack breaks through the outer defense. At least the body will be going with the flow of the incoming weapon and the damage will not be so bad. Also, we do this so when we lean back, absorb the man's attack, deflect it, it brings the energy for the counterattack. Shift our weight back, cock the leg, here comes the counterattack. We've got this backwards leaning, shift the weight forwards for our counterattack. That's how we develop energy for this. It's also how you're able to gain distance on the enemy. The counterattacking combination, lead leg, lead hand, back leg. So remember, when you do this, when you start practicing these parries, start doing them with that shifting lean back. No matter if it's a single palm or a double palm, whether it's against a hand weapon or a kick, you want that lean back type movement for the aforementioned reasons. All right, what we're going to do now, we're going to illustrate this point with our training partner. Now we're going to practice what we just explained and went over. Get your basic position, check yourself from the ground up, make sure everything's correct. When a man throws the punch, lean back, original position, lean back, original position, lean back, original position. The kick, lean back. Remember, you always have to have that lean, that shifting the weight to the rear. Put the crack in there, like so. Very good. Now you can see at this point we have this shifting back, and we're deflecting the weapons. Now we're ready to put in a counterattack. So we're going to do that real slow too, and that's how you work up your skill. For example, we're here, the man throws a punch, shift your weight back, deflect the punch, joint kick, lead hand, back leg. And the man throws another punch, lead leg, lead hand, back leg. So you're starting to get the idea here. Now to put it together a little bit more, the man throws the punch, do the joint kick at the same time. Right? Now we're giving ourselves a little bit more than we had before. Same thing for a kick. The man throws a kick, shift your weight. All four weapons. Like that. Now you can also do this and start to double up on your combination. Say for example a man throws a punch, parry, joint kick, boom, 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 back, another joint kick. See how his leg's starting to lock up a little bit here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to back up a little bit more and go for an overall body. So to have the cameraman back us up a little bit so we can see everything. There we go. Alright. So now we can get the whole idea. So the man throws a punch. And boom, 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 boom. You can see the shock the body takes from this. The leg's all locked up. It wouldn't take a whole lot more to break it. Man throws a kick action. Shift your weight. There's your counter weapons. Another one. Down he goes. Right, starting to get the idea how this works. Remember, all you have to do is to get your hands in the man's center line, your foot between his legs, and by your position, you'll force him into that mode of attack. If the man switches to the side, complete side position to you, that's okay, because you still shift your weight back. He comes in for a side kick, for example. Shift your weight, rear deflected. There it is. He's really on shaky ground here. Could have really had him on the first kick. Right? Starting to get the idea. Now be careful when you're doing this, because it's not going to take a whole lot to hurt someone with this sort of thing. The legs are starting to lock up. The man that's taking the blow has to be flexible enough to go with it. It'll make you almost an expert at taking a hit. So it's doubly beneficial. In the unpleasant situation in the street, you take a hit, you know how to go with the force of the blow to minimize the damage. On the other side, by practicing this way with actual contact, you get used to the idea of working and hitting another body. All you have to do is speed it up when you need it for real, and you've got it. At this point, we have a very good defense and counterattack from approximately the waist up. What we're going to work on now is from the waist down. We're going to learn how to use the legs as an aggressive blocking and parrying mechanism to defend them from attack. Remember, you don't want to bring your hands down below your waist in order to deflect the kick due to the fact the man will be able to hit you in the head real easy with his hands. So So you want waist up hands, waist down feet, with just a little bit of overlap in the middle. Now your first type of blocks, foot blocks, down to the bottom of the feet, which is facilitated by that backward leaning action coming down on top of the kicking leg. These are against low sweep type kicks that come in and try and take you off your feet slamming the ground. So bring your foot up, come kicking right down on top of it here. 3 ways, one side, middle, opposite side. 1, 2, and 3. We also have a sweeping type action where the foot can be used in a sweeping action like this and this in order to knock it out of the way. We also have an elbow and knee block like so, that intermediate area. You can also bring one hand down, leave the other hand up, bring this knee up. When a kick is coming in the center part, you're not exactly sure its height. With the hand here, the knee and the other hand up there, you've got a very strong blocking mechanism against a hard round kick coming around that direction. Just like this. Also, come the opposite direction. You can bring the leg up and pivot slightly in order to deflect the kick coming around this way. When you do that, bring this hand in here. This hand will come here in case the heel comes in and won't catch you in the kidney. So you're here. The slight pivoting action right around there can take care of it. So quick review, block, block, block. We have a short sweeping type action. We have the side arm and leg block here. We can augment that with that hand. We have this hand coming around this way, like so. With these various mechanisms, we're able to defend ourselves from the waist down. Remember, after your blocks, what we're going to be doing, shin block, and then here comes the counterattacks, just like so. What we're going to do now is we're going to put this into practical application with a partner. All right, now we're going to put this in practical application. Check yourself from the ground up. Make sure you're on the balls of the feet, knees are bent, hands in proper position, tummy pulled in slightly with slight stomach tension, hands where they should be. First one is like a football type kick to the lower leg. Use your various foot blocks, coming around to his left, coming around to the right. You can see how you use the foot as a blocking mechanism against his kicks. Now in case the kick comes around in a sweeper, you want to use the instep of the foot, of the right in here. Don't use the shin. You go shin to shin. Whoever has the strongest shin is going to come out ahead, or you can break each other's shin bones. So you want to make sure you use the right part there. Coming around the other way with his left in a sweeper type kick, you want to use the back of the leg like so. You see how it unbalances the man. You can also see where these hands can do some damage at the same time. Now, if the man recovers and comes towards the center, up high, right, you can use that combination. Things are starting to come together a little bit for us. If he comes around the other direction high, you do the same thing. Right? We're starting to see how things are beginning to work here. Discover the possibilities. So again, quick review, your blocking, foot blocking. Depending on where it comes from, sweeping type action. Like this, it comes a roundhouse kick high, the midsection, it comes around the other way, starting to come together. Now what you do after this is start doing kicks and hand weapons. The man might throw a punch or two, then it comes with a kick, do that one, then it comes low, do that one, then the man may come with another punch. So you get the idea of how you're shifting your weight to the rear, doing the various blocking actions. Then after that, you start putting your counters in. The man punches. Man throws a kick up high. Man starts a kick low. And we begin to see what we can do. Okay, at this point, you can see how we build our skills from a basic position. Practice a joint kick, we practice the poison hand, we add the back hand, we add the back leg, then we add your various parry moves with the hands and the feet. Then we've added the counterattacks. The last thing we do is we want to do the foot moves. We'll show you how you do that. What we're going to do now is we're going to get into the mobility or the foot movement end of it. We have our basic position, hands and feet in proper positions. When we move around, we're using almost a stamping type effect here. For example, we come forwards, this is how you advance. From the side, it would look like this. Right? Coming backwards, it looks like that. Or like this. Now moving side to side, it's this type and this type of movement here. Always remember to keep those hands in their proper positions and motions, no matter which way you're going. Now if you have to change sides, you always draw the lead leg and switch the hands like that. You never do it forward because you could run into something. When you have to change sides for some reason, always withdraw the lead leg, see? And it's the same thing to that side. Always move in such a fashion that you split the enemy down the middle. That's the purpose of the foot moves, is to angle the body to get in the proper position to do what you want to do. All right, now we're going to do that with practical application with a partner. Now we're going to put the body mobility. What you do is you get your partner, the attacker in this case, into a fighting position, have him move around with the objective being to get to the inside and be on his center line, which is right between the arms. The point goes from the top of the head down through between the legs. That's the center line. So when we move, okay, we always want to keep ourselves between the legs and the arms in order to force him in the type of attack that we want. Now, if he moves forward for some reason, we have to switch sides. Say we do it that way. And we always keep the foot between his feet, these hands between his hands, which will force him in the type of movement that you want. That's what you want to do. You see the lean back type thing, which tends to entice him into an attack, because the body leans back this way. The man thinks that you're off balance and will attack. What it fakes them out is they don't understand when the joint kicks hits them what happens. Then you have the rest of your follow through. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do this with some attacks in here. Remember, maneuver your man around. You have to change sides. Switch like this. All right, the man throws a hand weapon. There's your counterattack. The man throws, say, similar double. Sometimes maybe you just want to do a lead leg and a lead hand. Like that, another lead leg. Man throws a kick. That's all four. Another joint kick. Okay? Always maneuver to keep position. Man throws a high kick to the head. There's all four. Just like so. Now, what you have to understand, if the man maneuvers and does nothing, what you do is you simply attack him. For example, we're moving, the man isn't doing anything, I just shoot a kick in and come after him. If he doesn't respond, I just keep banging away at this guy until I get what I want. I get him hurt, I keep him away from me, I don't want him to hurt me. There are some people out there that have knowledge of martial arts and they're quite capable, have the strength and flexibility to fire very rapid, very high, and extremely powerful kicks, usually from about the neck up. Their purpose is to virtually knock your head off. In order to counter this, it's necessary not to oppose it, but using the southern system, lean back and down, let the kick go over top of your head, unopposed. Now, the kicking leg will be traveling at a very high rate of speed or velocity. However, the support leg will not, because it's holding up the rest of the body, it's in motion. So when you lean back and drop down, you'll be able to see the groin and the support leg. What you do is the joint kick is brought up slightly, the lead leg kick goes right to the groin, drops down, and hits the knee joint. Now, if it hits from behind the knee, it'll buckle it, and the man will drop down in a little heat. If it hits more to the side or frontal, it has a chance of damaging the knee joint, tearing some ligaments off the joint, inhibiting the man from trying any more of these type of high kicks. Now, it's important to remember, you have to lean back, drop your height down slightly by bending the back or support leg. Top leg kick goes over, lead leg kick the groin, drop down, another short kick to the knee, then fall through with the rest of your weapons. We're going to show you how it looks. As we can see, you get an idea how this will work. Lean back, drop down a little bit, let the kick go over top, counter kick the groin, drop down slightly, hit the knee, follow up with your weapons. In conclusion, the original soft Southern Chinese Kung Fu system is a method of fighting that employs fascinating, graceful, open hand movements using multiple overlapping palm-heel slap-type parries in order to redirect incoming foot and hand weapons from the waist up. Downward foot blocks and foot sweep parries protect the legs in conjunction with overlapping hand and or leg parries to protect the groin. Aggressive attacks or counterattacks consist of kicking tactics that are limited and directed to body targets from the waist down only. The lead leg knee joint kick properly employed can keep the defender from being overrun by breaking the enemy's leg out from under him. Follow-up hand weapons, if needed, are the lead hand no wind-up, no giveaway, closed fist poison hand weapon. A backhand conventional linear closed fist strike followed by a back leg kick directed to the groin augments the primary lead leg, lead hand attack combination. Body mobility is forwards, backwards, and side to side in a rectangular area. In order to camouflage attacks or draw the enemy within range, refined, graceful hand and arm motions in conjunction with backward-leaning body movements are employed to mentally confuse and encourage the enemy into making a misjudged attack which would lead to his undoing. This is all accomplished from the wide low stance. From this position, the Southern System exponent is already coiled, protected, and ready to strike. For all this to be truly effective, correct abdominal breath manipulation, properly controlling muscular body tension, is employed on impact of parries or body weapons only. The rest of the time, the body is relaxed except for slight stomach tension. The Southern System is like bamboo. It gives with and redirects the enemy's blows, then aggressively snaps back fast, hard, and strong. The Northern Kung Fu system is a hard style which relies upon speed and a disciplined use of one's strength or power for its effect. To start, we're going to learn some of the blocks. We'll start from a frontal position like this, remembering that when you block from the fist to the elbow. It's a fist and forearm block on this side, same thing, fist to elbow. So whether you're blocking this way or this way, from standing position, outward block here, downward and outward block. Same thing to the opposite side. Outward block here, downward and outward block here. You can put them both together, high and low. They can also move one high and one low. Now remember, when you do these blocking maneuvers, you don't block any further than the width of the body because there's nothing out here you want to protect. When you do this, Squeeze the fist and tense the whole body on impact of the block. Now we're going to do this for our basic southern system and see how this works. With the lead hand, we block down and out like this. Back original position. Also down in an outward fashion like this. We come upward here, back original position, upward and here. So we have 4 blocks of the lead hand. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same thing with the back hand. Coming out, we have a block here. Coming down and out, we have a block here. Now when we block over to the corner over here, we use something a little bit different. It's called a fist block, where you're actually using the fist to punch the incoming weapon. Since it's not practical, we'll bring this hand over here. So from here, you bring this fist over here. Same thing down low, coming down here, just like this. Now these are single type blocks. 4 with the lead hand, 4 with the back hand. You double up on them, just like we did the double palm pairs. By coming out here with a double block like this. Also, coming down with a double block like this. You can also use a lead hand block here with the back hand fist block here. Coming down this direction, it's a double block here. Coming from the other corner, we block up here and use this fist as a backup at the same time. Now if we do this from the side, we can see this a little bit better. We have a double block here, double one there, have a double one coming down here, and we've got a double one coming down here, like so. When we do this, we tense the whole body on impact of the block as it hits the weapon. 4 with the lead hand, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the back hand, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just like so. What we're going to do now is going to get a partner and practice this. What we're going to do is we're going to use the southern system as a base and integrate the blocks into it. So using the basic position, check yourself from ground up, feet apart, wide stance, balls of feet, lead hand, back hand. Now using the upper body blocks, lead hand 4 blocks, right hand high, block, right hand low, block, left hand high, block, left hand low, block. Using the back hand, right hand high, block, right hand low, block, left hand high, punch block, left hand low, punch block, doubling up, right hand high, double block, right hand low, double block, left hand high, double block, and left hand low, double block. So that's how you practice your punches. Now when we do kicks, we'll have the attacker assume it's more of a side position with the right leg, side kick, block, right leg around kick, block, using the right leg again against the back hand, a right leg round kick, back hand block. If it's a little higher, then we use the block this way. We can double up on that too. Right leg high, block, right leg low, block. It can also be done this way. Right leg low, block, like so. Now the left leg, left side kick, block, a left round kick, block. If it's a little higher, you can block with the left and the right, like so. If it's a little lower, you can also use the double blocks down here, like so. That's how you use the double blocks against the kicks. The weapon combinations that we're going to use are basically the same. Lead leg, lead hand, back leg. However, the weapons may be a little bit different depending on what you want to use. For example, lead hand weapon, same poison hand glove. Now we practice the back hand from this position. We can also drop it down here in a hip position as long as we keep this lead hand up, run an interference for us. All this is pivoting action of balls of the foot. Rotate the body, shift the weight in, rotating the fist blow, and the lower part of the abdomen there, just below the belt and back. This comes in here with the weight shift and back. It can also be done with the knuckles up like this, an upper, where the pivoting, and this comes in an upward type punch. Okay? From here, this here. That hits just below the heart, or just below the solar plexus, coming at an upward angle. In other words, it's a gut punch is what it is. The lead hand straightens the face and the body up, and the back hand comes in low to the midsection, whether it's done this way or this way. See, that gives us a little bit of variation. So those are the hand weapons that we're going to be practicing. To give our kicking action a little versatility, we're going to vary it slightly. We're going to use the same lead leg, back leg combination, but a little bit of a difference. For example, on our basic fighting position here, when you shift your weight, joint kick, lead hand, back foot high. It's a high kick to the face. Now remember, when you do this, you have to put the body rotation. It's the pivoting or the snapping of the hips, or the whip action, torquing that rotates the body, that adds power to the back hand, the back leg. The lead leg gets its power from the body weight coming in, lead hand poised in hand, back hand rotating, torquing, delivering the blow. This comes back leg kick, just like so. From the front, we're looking at here, joint kick, lead hand, back kick high. So you can see you can vary this a little bit. Maybe on one attack combination when you go at it, it's lead leg, lead hand high, back leg to the groin. Next combination, lead leg joint kick, lead hand high, back hand to the midsection, back leg to the face. So a little bit of practice, we can vary this and confuse the enemy. So this is how we're going to practice it with the partner. In order to attack with this combination, here we have your opponent. Check yourself from the ground up, balls and feet, lead hand, back hand. To attack, use your lead leg joint kick. Throws the body forward into the poisoned hand. Hit that, straightens the body up. Ready the backhand weapon, good pivoting action, strong backhand punch in the midsection. Back up, high kick towards the face. Now you can see how this is a natural type combination. What it does, lead leg kick, buckles the body forwards. Lead hand hits him right in the face, straightens him back up again. Backhand comes in the midsection, buckles him slightly for the back leg coming high. And that ends the fight. What we're going to do now is we're going to put it together with the blocks and see how we counterattack with it. From here, the man throws a series of hand weapons, block, 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 counterattack. Like so. The man comes back at you again. Now we're going to use some kicks. Comes in with a kick attack, block, 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 counter, lead leg, lead hand, backhand high, back leg low. So you begin to see the potential here. In one series I used a midsection punch low, a back leg high. The next one, use a backhand high and a back leg low. Like so. Now to practice this, if you have a large enough mirror, get in front of your mirror, get your basic position. Feet apart, knees bent, lead hand, backhand position. Practice the 4 blocks to the lead hand, the 4 blocks to the backhand. Then do the double blocks with both hands, high and low. Get yourself a partner, have them throw just hand weapons. Practice single blocks with the lead hand, then the single blocks to the backhand. Then do the double blocks with both hands. Same thing for the kicks. Have them throw nothing but kicks. Practice the single blocks against kicks with the lead hand, then the blocks to the backhand. Then put the two together using both hands where appropriate. After you feel comfortable with this, put it together where your attacker or your training partner is throwing kicks and hand weapons. to where you build your skill up on a progressive level so you can defend against kicks and hand weapons simultaneously using your blocks. Remember, eyes wide open, check your gaze right at midsection so you can see his hands and his feet, and that's how you practice your blocking techniques. Now, as previously explained, from the basic Southern system, we move forwards, backwards, and side to side in this fashion. We defend with that. We retreat with that backwards leaning type action. Now, borrowing a tactic from the Northern system, we're going to add on and learn how to flank the incoming enemy. For example, you can flank right or left. The enemy comes straight at you. Using your back leg, you can flank off the side like this. The man will continue on his path in the event that he's using a very determined, aggressive approach, and it's not possible for him to stop and go backwards. The other way is the same thing. Use your lead leg, and you can see the body movement totally gets the defender out of the way. Now, when you do this, you cover yourself with your blocking actions. For example, to my left, when I step off, here's my block against a kick. See, this backhand's up here in case he throws a wild punch. Counterattack, lead leg, lead hand, back leg, high or low. Now we go the other direction, where we use the lead leg again as a flank. Parrying against the kick, this hand's high, same thing. Lead leg, lead hand, back leg. Now if we're using a punch, what you want to do here is you're going to have the lead hand do that. When you make your flanking move, you can use a palm parry, for example. Lead leg, lead hand, back leg. Going to the other side, flanking with the lead leg. When you make your move here, you want to use the backhand. Backhand block, for example, against the punch as he rushes in. The back leg becomes the lead leg, lead hand, backhand, back leg. So you begin to see the possibilities here. You're either going to use the backhand high or low, or the back leg high and low. He's either going to be coming with a punch or a kick. Nobody can come in with two at the same time. So you're either going to cover your flank with a lower block. You can cover it with a palm. Same thing with a punch. If it's a punch, when you flank, you cover that with a palm, or you could have covered that with a block. Come to the opposite side, same thing. You cover that with a block, or you could have done it with one of these. If it's a punch, you cover that with a block, or the palm block, parry. Again, a counter, lead leg, lead hand, back leg. What we're going to do now is we're going to put this together and show you how you do it with a partner. Use a partner here. Now the rule that you follow is this. When the man attacks with his right, you flank the opposite direction, away from the incoming weapon, towards his left and counterattack. When the man attacks with his left, you flank opposite of that incoming attack towards his right and counterattack. For example, from this position, if the man throws a punch with his right, flank towards his left with your lead leg, parry the weapon with the hand or appropriate block, using the back leg as a lead leg, lead hand, back leg counterattack. In the event the man kicks with his right leg, go to your left, lead leg flank, appropriate parry or block. Again, the back leg becomes the lead leg, whichever leg is closer you want to hit. Joint kick, lead hand, back leg. Now, in the event appropriate carrier block, lead leg joint kick, lead hand weapon, back hand weapon, back leg. If the man kicks with his left leg, flank towards his right, appropriate carrier block, lead leg joint kick, lead hand weapon, back hand weapon, back leg, like so. What you have to remember here is you always go opposite of the incoming weapon, never flanking the force of an incoming kick or hand weapon. That can be dangerous. Always remember to go to one side or the other, away from the weapon, and you'll be all right. By integrating the southern and northern systems, it is obvious that the end result is superior to either one by itself. This unified best of both worlds system allowed the northern-southern fighter a strong forwards attack, or if necessary, retreat backwards, then sideways in a flanking action, utilizing fast, overlapping, multiple open hand parries to redirect, or closed fist forearm blocks to stop incoming weapons, whichever offered the best protection. Body tension is used only on impact to add a damaging crack to the redirecting open hand parries, or sufficient power to the closed fist forearm blocks. In order to counterattack or attack, short, no wind-up, fist-tight blows combined with high to low kicking tactics delivered at great speed with body tension used on impact only in order to conserve energy was used. This foundation of Poekoelan Tjimindie is the combined integrated northern-southern system. Poekoelan Tjimindie, a fighting art created by combining the elements of various Asian fighting methods, has two differing yet complementary fighting philosophies. One is humanistic, developed through scientific trial and error experimentation and actual human life or death combat. The other is animalistic, based on observing and adapting the instinctual attack and defense moves of animals, then forming these moves into a fighting art for human use. Animalistic fighting methods, with humanistic fighting as a strong base, are obviously more effective than either method by itself. To properly learn the monkey style, we're going to start from the ground up, just like we did when we learned the southern and northern systems. Now, the monkey stylist fights from a wide apart foot position. However, the position of the feet resembles an L. Back foot, lead foot, like so. On the balls of the feet. This from the side, this from the front. Now the hand position is you have a lead hand, back hand position. Lead hand position is high, back hand position is in the middle. This is an open hand position. Gives you an idea of where we start from on this. Remember, stomach tucked in slightly, proper lead leg, lead hand, back hand position, like so. From here, we learn how to use the palm hand grab parries. Now the tactical objective here is when a weapon comes towards you, you want to first parry, redirect, and then grab it. The lead hand high, parries here, then the hand rotates, grabs, body shifts back, and the weapon is pulled forwards and toward the monkey stylus, unbalancing the attacker. From the opposite side, the hand comes out, parries, wraps like so, and does the same thing. Shift your weight to the rear, attempting to pull the attacker in. Now going low, coming down here, parry, you can grab this way, and then rotate around for a grab here. Shift your weight back. See, this is two moves here. 1, 2, to make sure you got this grip. Come around the other way, come around parrying here to the palm, wrapping the fingers and the thumb in order to grab it, like so. 1, 2, 3, and 4. With the back hand comes here with your parry and grab, pull back, like so, down, parry and pull, and also in the lower, it's a parry the palm heel and a pull. The back hand, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just like that. Now you can double up on it. High, come in here, parry here, like so. Same thing, other height, parry here, grab, this hand comes over and grabs. Coming low, this hand comes in here for a grab, this hand's down here. So you have a doubling up effect here. On the other corner, have your parry here, and this hand comes like so. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to practice this with a partner. Practice with a partner, check yourself again from the ground up. L position, balls of the feet, lead hand position, back hand position. Now we work slow. The man throws a punch with his right high, shift your weight back, right high. The man throws a punch right low, parry, grab, shift your weight back. The man throws a punch left high, like so. The man throws a punch left low, parry here, or you flip it over if you want, like this. Now the back hand, right hand high, right hand low, left hand high, left hand low. If you have to double up, it's a strong punch, right hand high, right hand low, left hand high, and left hand low. Just like that. Now, in the event that the man is shifted over slightly and a punch comes to the outside of the arm, he throws his right high. Then we see we parry like this. He throws his right low, parry like that. If it's reversed, where the man's over this way, the man throws a left high, and we parry off and grab this way. And if it's low, we come in like this. And that's how you practice your various punching defenses with a partner. Now to do the kick defenses, again, we get our position, checking the ground up, L position, balls of the feet, lead hand, back hand. Now when you defend against kicks, what we want to do here is use both hands against the kick. Because you're trying to grab it, one hand isn't going to make it. So when the kick comes high to that corner, shift your weight back, this hand comes up high, this hand comes underneath, and you have a trap that looks like this. Now when the kick comes low, into the midsection, the back hand comes here, underneath, the top hand comes down over top of it. Shift your weight back in order to grab it and pull them in. When the kick comes to the side kick, say for example, comes right over your hands, you want to shift your weight, the lead hand comes on one side, the back hand comes on the other, and a grabbing affair like so. When it comes low, towards the midsection, again, the lead hand goes underneath of it, the back hand will come on top like this, shifting your weight towards the rear. When the kick's coming around this direction, the lead hand comes around, trapping like this, the back hand comes up and completes it like this with the weight shift. When the kick's coming around this direction low, it's basically the same thing. Shift your weight, this comes around one side, this traps it on the other. So you can see how we use both hands against the kicking leg in order to grab it. Now, to practice with a partner, assume proper position. The man throws a kick with the right leg high. There's your grab, like so. The man does right leg towards the midsection. Grab like so. Now you see when you do this, how you off balance the man. The man's throwing a side kick with his right, low. You come in and grab it like this. See, this hand's at the base of this foot. Okay? This hand's wrapped around the ankle. You see what you're doing here? Okay, when the kick comes up real high, right? This hand wraps over top. This hand completes the grip. Pulling him off balance. When the man comes around here with his left, this wraps around here, we complete the grab, letting the kick go over top. If they're coming in here, waist level, you can grab him here, like this. See how this hand comes underneath? Here, we use part of the body in order to trap it. The man's extended out, just like so. Now your counterattack is the same lead leg, lead hand, backhand combination used before, with a little bit of difference. We'll show you how you're going to do that. Now our counterattacks are based on the combination that we established in the Northern Southern system. That is the lead leg, lead hand, back leg, but with a little bit of variation. Okay, we're going to bring our attacker in to illustrate that. Stepping out with hand weapons. In this position here, when a man throws a right hand high, we use a single or double hand grab parry. The lead leg kick comes up, instep kick the attacking extended limb. Wham. After that, it comes down, recoils, joint kick. You can use a palm heel blow from the monkey style, or you could have made that a poison hand. From here, the back hand will come pivoting in from this position. A strong blow to the midsection. The back leg can go wherever it wants to hit, groin, or it could have been a high kick. Now he throws his right hand low. Okay? We're using double here. Breaking the arm, joint kick, lead hand weapon, back hand weapon, back leg joint kick. So you can see him start to buckle. Now you can start to get the idea how this works. In the event the man throws a punch with his left high, there's your palm heel, counter kick the attacking arm, joint kick, lead hand, back hand, back leg to groin. In the event the man throws a punch low with his left hand, we use the double parry here, pull him in, counter kick here, joint kick, lead hand, back hand, back leg. This is the same when it comes to the kicks. The man throws a right kick high. You attempt to grab, the weight is here, kick the inside of the leg or the groin, whichever one you want. Here, joint kick, lead hand, back hand, and back leg. See, now it's starting to have some possibilities here. When he throws his right leg low, you want to funnel that, pull him up, groin kick, joint kick, lead hand, back leg. The man brings a side kick high, same drill, coming up here, kick, joint kick, lead hand, back leg. The man comes around here with his left low, have your parry, kick, it's hard for him to stay up for all this, hit, and one hit, and down he goes. So you begin to see how this works. What you're doing is you're using the trapping to extend them out, pull them in, with a vicious counterattack that adds a lot more than we had before. Now sometimes you can grab the hand weapon, sometimes you don't. Same thing with the kick. It doesn't matter. If you attempted to grab and miss, the lead leg will still catch the attacking extended lip. The counterattack will be the same. to add a little bit more of a dimension to your defense, we can also use the feet to parry and grab with in conjunction with the hands. For example, in this position here, we have a kick coming here from waist down, shift the weight back, lead leg comes up and pivots. Now you can see where the foot or the toes are pointed upwards. That's designed to trap the kick. At the same time, this hand comes down, just like that, from here to here. That's your trap. Going the other way, it's the same thing. Shift your weight, pivoting action out. This foot comes in here like this, see? The lead hand does the trap. This hand comes out here, just like so. Now it can come straight in front too. You let it scoot by the shin like this, and then rotate your foot. That's what you're doing. Just like that. Remember, at the same time, keep this hand here. Those are the three foot block parry wraps that we have in conjunction with the hands. So how does this look like, and what do we do in attack? Let's bring in our attack and find out. Okay, we start out with the basic fighting position. The man brings the kick with his right leg in towards the midsection. We use our parry, counterattack the groin, lead leg, lead hand, back leg. We could also do it this way and add a little bit more, same type of attack. Coming up, foot parry, kick to the groin, and then another one to the knee, drill him with another one in the face. Right? Things get a little bit interesting. Now, if the man comes around this way, in this position here, same type of parry, come back to the groin, joint kick, lead hand, back leg. What you're doing here is you're opening the man up. Now, if the foot is too fast and it just parries off and you're unable to complete the grab, that's okay. Just hit him anyhow. When the extended lid comes out, the body is always open. So you always have to remember that. So you can see how we're starting to use the whole body to defend and attack with virtually simultaneously. Now we're ready for the hand moves. Check your position, L position, balls of the feet, lead hand, back hand. Now we don't want to fight from a stationary position, whether it's hands or feet. We always want to be in motion and moving. All we did here with this basic hand position was to teach you the various pulling, grabbing, parries. Now we're ready to add the hand moves. The hand moves are a circular, sweeping, conical type affair, where the lead hand comes down and makes a circular move like so. Now at the same time this is going on, the back hand's doing the same thing. Now you'll notice when one hand is up, one hand is down. One hand high, one hand low. You don't want both hands down at the same time. Just like this. It also goes the other direction, like so. This is the lead hand, this is the back hand. Practice it separate. Now you put it together, right? Looks like this. This covers you for approximately groin and up. Now to do this, just practice one hand at a time and get used to it. If a mirror, if you got it. Just like this, the lead hand. Just like this, the back hand. Then put it together. The opposite direction, lead hand, back hand. You can see how this works. Then you put it together. Just like so. Out of here is where all your hand grab pulling parries come from. Now we're going to practice the hand move, the foot moves.
Monkey exponents fight from a medium body height, employing sweeping, rotating arm movements using a palm-down hand grab parries, designed to redirect and pull the enemy by his attacking limb off balance. This makes counterattacking with a lead leg and lead hand, backhand, back leg combinations possible. Defensive body and head moves are backwards in conjunction with the pulling parries. making sure that the monkey stylist is not hit. This is all done from an L foot position using linear foot moves, backwards, forwards, or side to side. The monkey style is an aggressive trap and counterattack method which gives the combined northern and southern systems more flexibility in a wider variety of practical applications.
Now we're going to study the crane fighting style. In order to do this, we'll do it just like we did our other ones. We'll start ourselves from the ground up. Now the crane style is a little tricky to learn, so you have to pay close attention and approach us real slow. Start with the basic and work up very slowly. Now the basic foot position we're going to use is like a parallel foot position, which is a little bit of cant to the feet. We're out here, it's a wide, medium height position. See where the feet are parallel? They're not like railroad tracks, just a little bit of a cant to them. Now the arm motions in here that form the parries and the hand weapons all rolled into one are wide apart, sort of like the wings on that bird. Now they're done two ways, open hand and closed fist. The open hand version is pretty tricky to learn. The closed fist is a little easier and it's a little more spectacular in a way. So we're going to do that first. Starting with the basic foot and body position, one hand is to the rear, closed fist, one lead hand is out here, closed fist. The hand movements resemble giant swimming or circular type motions, coming backwards and forwards like this. This one done with the back arm. This one you add the lead arm just like this. And you see the swimming type action. Now the purpose of this is the arms will come across in such a fashion that they'll come down and across the attacking limb of the man you're fighting. Just like so. Now here we're doing them a little slow. All you have to do is speed it up, and you see how you rotate the body a little bit in order to do this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get a partner, and we're going to see how this works. Now in order to do this with your partner, remember your position, feet apart, slightly canted foot position, knees bent, medium body height. Start with your basic arm and hand fist position like this. Remember the weapon comes in, the arms are in a circular, rotating type shield, which drives the blows down in a downward fashion. In order to counterattack, deflecting one, the next hand comes around and hits them. You can add one or two more blows, depending on what you need. Now you come the other way, like coming up with it, in an upward fashion like this, which knocks the weapons in an upward fashion, coming underneath, just like that between his arms, for your counterattack. In other words, the arm and hand movements, the blocks, and the hand weapon counters are all one and the same thing. You can also take this and rotate it in a circular fashion like so. In other words, instead of coming over the center like this, it's a circular type move here. The attacker is here, arm here. We have a circular or a conical system of blocking, which can hit hard, knock the weapons out of the way, and can be reversed when necessary, like so. Then when you put your counter, you flip that back hand over and add 2 or 3 more, like that. Or you can make 1 or 2 blocks, depending on what you want to do. Put your overhead counter, bring the back hand back up like this, 2 or 3 more. So you begin to see the possibilities. Alright, so far we have a side position. We have a position here. We've seen how the arms rotate, going across incoming weapon arms at an angle. We have the counter blows that come in. We have the reverse effect of this that comes underneath, knocking the weapons up with a weapon that comes up like this. We've also had a circular type move this way, where this can be blocked out here, depending on what you know, with the counter blow coming overhead. So you can make 1 or 2 blocks here, counter blow here, then you can reverse it, come up, back up again. All you have to do is practice that a little bit. Next basic position, from the same foot position, the arms out to the side. And what you do here is a circular move like this, see? Alternating circular moves. But here the same thing. You're using blocking, where it hits and deflects the incoming weapons, As soon as this blocks, this hand can come back, and you see the counter weapon. See? If you just did a series of counter weapons, it'd look like this. Okay? There's your block, counter. Block, counter. It's an angular swipe coming from this direction over here, catching the attacker by surprise. Okay, let's see what that looks like with a partner. All right, now we get our partner. Get our basic position. Start with your arms out to your side like so. The incoming weapon comes in. We have a circular overlapping type thing. You use alternating arms or one arm at the same time. Counterattack. After the block, we'll take a swipe right across here. You can add another one if you want, then come overhead and whip one up underneath, see? So you can alter this around a little bit. Person comes in, make your one or two blocks, put a counter in here, you might throw another one, you never know. Fire off a couple more blocks, whip them across the face, then over top and underneath. So you can adjust this circular type thing so the guy doesn't know where all this is coming from. Then on top of that, you can add your other type conical circular blocks here, coming right over top, coming back up again, side circular wham. See, it gets pretty interesting about now. And that's how you block and counter hand weapons. And now we're going to get into kicks. In the crane style, we have three types of kicking. A thrust type action, done in a forwards and backwards manner. We have a slash type kick and a circular or a wheel type kick. These are done from sidewards and then move back into the opponent. Now all these kicks are done in combination. We never use one by itself. For example, basic position here, thrust type kick, moving in, have a thrust type kick here, kick here. Just in case he backs up and moves in on you. Do it the other way, kick here, come back another kick. So it's always done in combination. Now if we do an upward or slash type kick, we want to move the side a little bit to catch him on the inside with an upward type slash, and then back. Now this is done on the outside edge of the foot. Remember, always in combination. Stepping the side, slash, slash. This usually brackets the side of his head. Now we have a circular type kick. It's the same thing. This can go inward and outwards, always in combination. Side, inward, followed by an outward. Type wheel kick. We can also mix these up between thrust, slash, and circular. To illustrate this, we get our partner. So, okay, he's just in a basic position just to let us show how this works. We use our basic position here. With a thrust kick, we move in, kick, kick. So we have a thrust kick here. The man will come forward, back it up with another one, always in combination. Slash type kick, slight move the side, coming up, side ahead, backing off, coming up with two. Hit this side ahead, the man goes this way, come up and bracket him again. Same thing with a wheel type kick. You're here, slight step to the side, the kick comes up, over in a circular fashion, whammo, just like that. To combine a little bit, you make your side move, kick, followed by another one. Get the idea? Always done in combination. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to put it together with our defenses a little bit. The man's going to be throwing some hand weapons. You're going to see how this looks a little. Hand weapon comes in, circular block, here's a counter hit already, slight move, upward chop type kick, and a slash jaw. Another hand weapon here, here's an outward and inward wheel kick. Block, thrust, punch, another thrust kick. So you can see how this works a little. So what you have to do is you have to get your partner and practice that. Remember, it's forwards and backwards, side to side. Now when we do our kick defenses, what we're concerned with are basically two types of kicks. They're either linear or circular. When they're thrust and coming straight in at you, then you can back away and come back. Now when they're circular, this way, we flank and come back. Now when we do this, put this into practice, When we do our overhead movements that we learn, this is good against frontal or side thrusting type kicks. For example, I have our partner. We're in our basic position here. When a man comes in with a front kick with his right foot, for example, come down, boom, and we can see what we're doing here. Now, if we use our other arm to block with, the man does the same kick, we have to come back a little bit, like so. Right? So depending on which arm you use to block with determines on whether you deflect the inside or the outside of the leg. Now this is true no matter whether it's a front snap or a side kick. For example, a side kick, the man standing complete to the side, facing him. I'll just come back here and maneuver like that. Alright? So the man comes in with a side kick. You can see he catches the inside of the leg like that. Now if you're using the other arm to block with, you have to withdraw the leg. Keep in mind this is against a determined attacker that's really barreling through with this kick. And then you counterattack appropriately. Now when we put this together, and we use our circular movements like we were practicing earlier, inwards and outwards, then we have a little bit more of an application here. For example, the man comes in. Instead of using this position here, we're using our frontal circular moves, and especially against high kicks, the man comes in the right leg high. We have to use two of them, okay, to make sure one here and one coming over here. When you put the counter into all this, parry, parry, front, wham, wham, right? We begin to understand how it works. Naturally, if you're going the other side, it's the same thing. We're over here, and you just have to move your arm coming down on top of it like that. Remember, always remember these circular either coming this way, or if it's coming up underneath like this. So we're here, then you're coming here. See how the one hand's high, and one hand comes underneath it. Then you put in the appropriate counter. So you can see how this circular shield works, no matter which way you go, to the side or frontal, and an overlapping method like that. All you have to do is practice it that way, either side forward this way or this way, doing these moves here, or the circular ones off to the side here. What gives the crane style its unique effect or style is that one-legged posture that we've seen in magazines and to a minor extent in some movies. 55 Days of Peking comes to mind. At any rate, what it really is a series of one-leg positions, either forwards or backwards, or side to side with the appropriate counter. To do this, we'll start off from our basic position we've been practicing, looking like this. What you do is you shift your weight to the rear. If you bring your leg up, there we are. It's your first basic position. Now the knee is in line with the hip. You don't want this because the groin's over, like so. To do the defense and counterattack move, you can imagine that the man comes in with his attack, he's stepping back, deflecting, opposite leg comes into play, there's your counter kick, here comes the overhead blows, back leg, and back up again, like so. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to show you how we do this with our partner. Now when I explained earlier this is a waist-up fighting position, the reason for that is when you're using these one-legged postures, you can see how the knee blocks out waist-down targets. Consequently, the enemy is more prone to attempt to hit you from the waist up because he's been denied by your position those targets. Therefore, all we have to worry for the most part is hits in this area. To illustrate this, now we start out with our basic position, like so, all you do is bring your foot off the ground. Here's your crane position here. So when a man comes in, throws a punch at you, blocking it down, we come with appropriate counterattacks. Now when a man comes in to the right, you can see what can be done. Now when we get into the kicks of it from the waist up, when a man comes with his kick, using two, remember you always want that double block. He comes in with the opposite leg, always use two, and you begin to get the idea. Now, we just went over linear or thrusting type attacks coming at you. When the kicks come in a circular fashion, you're going to have to do something else. So we're here, our basic position we had before, when the attack comes around in a circular fashion like that, we flank the side using the appropriate circular parries with our counterattacks, and recover. Now, on the other hand, this is where we're going to get a little bit tricky here. You've got to pay attention. We're in the same position, like this, and say, example, kick comes around this way. What happens here is you're moving away from him, parrying down, 1, 2, and coming around on him, like that. All right, now let's see how this works with a partner. So we're in our basic position, like so. The man brings his right leg around towards the head. You have to flank here, step aside, move in with our various counters until he can no longer function. If we're here, and the man comes around the other way with his left leg high, this is where we come around inside with our various counters, like so. So you can see forwards and backwards, linear, side to side, your circular flanking attacks.
The mad crane is an aggressive fighting style where offense and defense are simultaneous. Hand-arm movements and hand-arm block attacks are one and the same. This large one-arm forwards, one-arm backwards, rotating circular shield, done in a swimming-type motion, generates its effect from the principle of mass or weight in motion produces power. Hand techniques are closed fist type in nature. Kicking tactics are groin up only. Body position is medium height, feet apart in a wide stance, punctuated by very maneuverable one leg up, one leg down, stamping type actions, accompanied by circular body rotations, allowing the crane fighter to weave or zigzag around and through his enemy in a series of mind-boggling foot and hand weapon attacks.
We're now going to study tiger fighting. There's two forms of tiger fighting, high and low. We're going to start out with high tiger. In high tiger, the exponents fight from below the ground, feet apart, bent knee position like so. The seat is parallel with the knees. The hands are held in upright position, sort of like a cat on its hind legs. Now, the first thing we're going to practice is the low tiger joint kick. Now, this is done by shifting your weight to the rear leg, cocking your leg, extending it through the target without raising the body up. It's done like so. Now we're going to see how we do this with a training partner.
Now,
hand weapons from this low position are a punch to the groin. You can use a slice blow to the groin. You can also use a palm heel. And you can grab and squeeze on the palm heel or the slice blow. Now all these weapons hit from the waist down on the enemy, the joint kick and the hand weapons to the groin. Now we're going to practice this with our partner.
The first weapon is a lead hand multiple fist attack. The second weapon is a slice blow and grab. Third weapon is palm heel and grab. A lead leg, lead hand attack combination.
Next weapon we're going to learn is what we call an elbow and knee takedown. This is an arm-leg simultaneous weapon. What happens is the high tiger exponent shoots in. This foot wraps around the enemy's foot and ankle, shin to shin. The arm shoots in with an elbow, the inside of his knee. This hand's here for protection. Shift your weight forwards and into the leg at a slight angle like this, which buckles and will take the leg apart at the knee and possibly the ankle joint, and the man will go down. From here, you shoot right in just like this, and down he goes. Now we're going to see what this looks like with a partner. Now from this position here, we're going to get into defenses. Whenever I used this before, the only other attack I ever got was a straight up the front type kick. Nothing else. A football type right up between the arms. So what you do here is when the kick comes in, the lead hand will go underneath of it like so. Top hand will go right on top like this. At the same time, withdraw the lead leg, grasping the foot and stretching the attack out. Now the man will come forwards. You can either use an elbow or knee counter attack here, or you can use a joint kick. To see what I mean, we'll practice it with a partner. Alright, now the other type of kick that can happen, not very often, is somebody brings the kick in a circular fashion. What you want to do here is you want to flank away from it. For example, if the kick comes in this way, use your back leg, take it forwards, and to the side step like this, withdraw the other leg slightly, one hand down, one hand across like this in order to deflect the circular weapon. From here, you counterattack to the support leg. You can use a joint kick, like so, or you could use the elbow and knee takedown. Either one will suffice. And now we're going to see what this looks like with a partner. When you flank, you can also use a double palm parry. Same thing, shift your weight away from the kick, double palm parry to deflect the weapon out of the way, and you can counterattack the support leg, and sometimes, depending on how this kicking leg sits down, you can hit it too. For an example, we're going to show you how it looks like with a partner. Now remember, when you're down here, seat parallel with the knees, hands out in front of you, because they don't do you any good unless they're out there intercepting your incoming weapon. When a man comes straight up the middle, you always withdraw. Use this funneling type device here to trap the legs, stretch them out, a joint kick or an elbow knee counterattack. If you've got the right leg forward and the man comes this way, shift your weight towards that direction, away from the kick, one hand high, one hand low. If you've got your right leg forward, it comes around this way, the left leg flanks off the side like this. So when you practice it, you have to keep that in mind. Also, when you practice, it also helps to have real good leg strength in order to do this.
High tiger exponents fight from very low, upright, mobile postures. The seat is kept parallel with the knees. The feet are spaced evenly apart for balance, and the weight is shifted from one leg to another, so the tiger fighter can move backwards in order to open up his enemy by parrying, then redirecting the attacking extended limb. He can move forward and to the side in a flanking action to dodge an attack, then counterattack. All kicking tactics are from the waist down with a linear, piercing knee joint kick. Hand weapons are hitting with open hands or closed fist to the groin, followed by grabbing, pulling, crushing, squeeze.
We're now in a low tiger position. Now, low tiger, when we're on the ground fighting, is used when the exponent has been forced to the ground for some reason, trip, fall, whatever, or if the terrain that he's on is too slippery or unstable to allow upright fighting. Now, this first basic low tiger position is designed as a standoff. In other words, to hold off the enemy until you can break his legs out from under him. Like high tiger, all hitting is from the waist down. It's a lead leg and a lead hand setup. Now, the lead leg is a joint kick, right from this ground position, going right into the joint. The hand weapons are similar to high tiger. They strike for the groin. Now, we have a back leg weapon in here. We have our lead leg, we have lead hand, and we have this back leg that shoots right in here to the ankle joint. Now, all weapons after impact are jerked back. Now, the reason for that is so that your enemy doesn't fall on top of you. Because once his legs are broken out from under him, he's coming down. So from this first basic position, we have our joint kick, have a lead hand weapon, and we have a back ankle kick, and recover. Now we're going to see what this looks like with our training partner. Now keep in mind, this position here is used against someone that's coming at you a little aggressively. So he walks right into the weapons, the lead leg, the lead hand, and the base leg. All you have to do is lean back a little bit, keep this hand up. You can use it to deflect the weapon right or left and counter-attack the leg that has the most weight on it. Now, in the event you have someone out there that's a little leery of this and isn't coming after you, you can bring them in by adjusting your position like so. Now, what this does is it appears to open up the middle. I haven't met anybody yet that can resist this. Before they think they come shooting in with a kick, football type or a punt type kick right up the middle, which is just about what you want. This hand here is used as a sweeper to deflect and redirect the incoming weapon. What that does is it exposes the base leg to counterattack. You're here, you sweep the weapon aside, the lead leg can kick the support leg. If that kick doesn't bring him down, after this one you hit him with that one on the ankle, and that one will. Now to see how this works, we're going to practice with a partner. Now with the previous move, when we deflected the man's kicking leg, we opened up the support leg, which we counterattacked. We can also adjust our position from here and have the hand go back this way. This again is a draw position, so the man will come in and try and kick in the middle or the head. From here, we use this hand as a sweeping tactic over here. Deflect the leg out of the way. If he's kicking to the right, that'll open him up real good. Again, you can counter kick his support leg, knee, ankle shot. Just like so. Now we're going to see what that looks like with a partner. Now remember, standoff position for the aggressive. When they're not so aggressive, one arm forward, one leg back. First draw position, if he doesn't come in, second draw position, that should get him. Now remember, when you do this, when you make these parries, they can be a sweep, slap tight parry to deflect it out of the way, or you can sweep it and catch it, if you can, and hold his kicking leg up off the ground while you deliver
the counterattacking weapons to the support leg. Now you also find out when you practice this and you hit this guy, sometimes you can get a hand weapon into the groin after the parry. Other times you'll discover when you do it, when they're on their way down, you can actually hit him in the face with a punch when he's collapsing. The only way you're going to find this stuff out is to practice it. No matter which side you practice from, the right or the left, all the same rules apply. Remember, practice makes perfect. Now we've been practicing from a stationary position. To maneuver this, you move on all fours. In other words, both hands and both feet with the knees off the ground. To move forwards, like this, and backwards, like this, the side a little bit, the side like that, to maneuver the man. When you feel you're in the right position, you set up. There's a standoff, or you're moving around, there's a draw. So now we have our body mobility.
Low tiger fighting fights from a low, virtually on the ground position on both hands and both feet, just like a real tiger. All foot weapons are directed to the knees and the ankles. Hand weapons, when appropriate, are to the groin. You use a stand-off position with the lead leg and lead hand to hold the man off so you can break his legs out from under him. Or you can use a sideways, one arm forwards and one leg backwards, open draw position to entice the enemy in to a kick that can be deflected and counterattack. Body mobility is forwards, backwards, to the sides, on all fours, just like the real jungle cat.
What we're going to study now is the snake style. Now, the snake style is a really unique method of fighting. It's a full frontal system as opposed to some of the side type of fighting that we've been doing and what you see in most other styles. Now, the unique thing about it is they got their legs together like this. On the side, top of the body slightly forward, on the balls of the feet. Now, they have a little bit of body movement like this, and it's accomplished with a pivoting action on the balls of the feet. Now, at this point, we're going to get into the hand moves and hand positions. All right, now the hand positions here is a half fist type blow. We call a cobra head strike. With thumbs in here, on the side it would look like this. Now the hand positions, one hand above, one hand below. The elbows are tucked close to the body, the distance protecting the midsection. Now we have the one hand down here and this one hand up here. Now the hitting that's done with this, coming forward, taking a chop like out of someone's face. This is done with half a squeeze to the hand, just like we squeeze a closed fist on impact, also using proper stomach tension. Now from the side, you look like this, taking a chop, and you also shift your weight into it when you do it too. Same thing from below. Switch your hand, it's a chop type weapon. Now you can do it horizontally too, where it takes a dig out or a fight like that. You look at it from the side a little bit, it looks like this, almost like making a half a circle with it. You can go either direction with it. Now these weapons are all aimed at the face, just above the teeth into the nose, the eye socket. Real good shot is to the throat with it. These weapons are extremely hard hitting when they're done right. And you'll notice this interlocking type movement here. Right? Wham. So you'll see how this works. And when you practice this, you got to practice it both directions. It's a little tricky here, so you're probably going to have to watch this a little bit in order to imitate it in front of a mirror long enough to where you'll be able to practice it. All right, let's see how this looks with a partner. Now from here, we can see from the proximity of the hand and the target, the weapon comes forward, takes a half circle cut or chop out of the target. Now it can go vertical too, like this, just above the lip into the nose area. You can do it this way or this way, horizontally or vertically. You can also come into the throat. It's a real good weapon.
right alongside the esophagus and make it a half circle type shot, just like this. Now you're just doing this with one hand, and you can get the idea. When you start bringing in both of them, see, for different type hits, you can understand that this can be a lot more versatile. It just takes a little bit of practice in order to do it. At any rate, those weapons into the eyes, just above the nose, into the throat, have the capacity to put someone out of commission. At any rate, that's how we do that, and now we're going to take a look and see how we block and parry with it. Now, before we get into the blocks and parries, there's one thing you have to imagine here. You draw an approximate box or rectangle going from the waist across, up the body, and right at the top of the head. Now, when you position the hands properly, the idea is to, by the positioning of the movement of the hands, you see how the body's behind the hands and arms, it forces the attacker into his weapons going to the outside, to those four corners. So when you do this, you can understand how the parries go to the two top corners, see, and we got the bottom corner over here. You get the idea? You see how the hands are here, opposing corners, opposing corners. Now you use a combination of hands and or an elbow for the opposite corner here. Now, in basic fighting position, this corner or angle here comes across. Now, it's just a short little move, but with this move and this hit here, it's a block hit parry all at the same time, covering my left front corner. Now, coming around the other way, it's a little bit of a turn. It's the same idea. So you can see how this works. You can do it this way, and also hit like this, or like this. Just have to practice a little bit. Naturally, after you hit, you immediately come back with a counterattack. Okay? Wham, bam. Now the bottom, coming down the opposite corner here, we use this palm heel type. This hand stays up here, because you can block here, boom, boom, and counterattack at the same time. Now to use the opposite side, all it is short, tight elbow blow, when a punch comes down and up like that. If it's in the center, you just move your hand a little bit. It doesn't take a whole lot of practice because the moves are so short and so direct. There's not a whole lot of movement in here. Now, when you switch your hands around, when you practice this, remember when you block with one hand, you immediately counterattack with the other hand. Get the idea? You block over here, you can come in here for a body hit. It's the same thing, and it upsets their rhythm, gives you a chance to get a good headshots in. Remember, keep your body and your hands, your body and your head behind your hands and your arms. See, that forms that shield. And the shoulders are hunched up slightly. So that's how you practice this. Now we're going to see what this looks like with a partner. Now when you do this with a partner, practice it slow in order to get your reaction down and build up your time and your speed and your counterattack. Now when a man throws a right high, you have a parry, there's your counterattack, or counterattack. Now when he does left high, counterattack, or like that. When he comes in right low, block, counterattack, or left low, block, counterattack. And you practice moving your hands, do the various blocks, high, low, put your counterattacks in. Remember, keep the hands in front of the body so your body and your head are protected by your hands and arms. And that's how we practice the various blocks, defenses, and counterattacks and hand moves, which are all one and the same. Kicking tactics of the snake style are from this closed leg together position. Now the battle strategy or tactical objective is the kicks are a whip or instep type kick aimed at the inside soft parts of the enemy's calves and upper thighs, with the groin as the ultimate target. In other words, there's 2 preparatory whip-type stinging kicks to the inside of the legs to force them outward using extreme pain with the big bomb right to the groin. End of fight. Naturally, this is done in conjunction with all those weapons from above. So you're in your basic position here. The knee comes up just a little bit. It's a catty-corner or crisscross style method of hitting that's directed, as we said, to the inside of the calves, the thighs. Only takes about one or two of these things, and bam, right up the middle to the grand prize. So now we're going to practice with our partner. All right, we're going to get our body position. Remember, legs together, feet together, stomach pulled in slightly, arms out in front, protecting the body and the head. Now what this is it's a pivoting movement into the kick, pivoting the body, the knee comes up, the toe is down, a whip-type kick to the calf, recover, same drill with the opposite leg, whip-type kick to the upper thigh, inner thigh, with the last one coming to the groin, obviously with all your hand weapons all at the same time. And that'll demolish the attacker. So what we're going to do now is we're going to practice our kick defenses. Now, before we get into the foot moves, what you have to understand is this is a fairly close-in fighting style. This isn't a long-distance type thing. This is a medium range, just at the reach of the hands. So to understand that, when we get into the kick defenses, you don't have to worry about any type of long-range kick due to the fact the man you're fighting doesn't have a distance to launch something real high. So what we're worried about is from about waist level down. Now, the hands can defend at approximately middle gate level. The one hand going underneath it, the one hand coming over top of it. This base hand slides right into the groin real easy, not to mention all your other attacks to the base support leg and his kicking leg. In other words, you're right here, kick comes around to the left, this hand comes underneath it, this hand goes over top of it in a trapping type maneuver. Now it's coming around the other way, this hand looks like this, see? Right on top. Remember, your objective is to get between his arms and his legs. Now, if the kicks are a little lower, you're going to use your legs to defend yourself by bringing it up to the inside of his legs, here or here. See, in a whip or crack type move. Never drop your hands down to defend yourself down there. Always remember that. Keep that up in here. The man might decide to throw a kick and then a hand weapon. All right, we're going to get our partner and see what this looks like. Now, you position yourself. Remember what I said, this is a fairly close-in fighting style. You can see how the legs are together, arms in proper position between the man's arms and legs. The man throws a high kick, the upper body, one arm low, one arm top, counter kick, groin, here, and these, almost simultaneously. The man tries a little lower, you have to use your legs here. When he kicks around, kick the instep to the thighs, then the groin. Now if it goes a little lower, still the same thing. What you're doing when the kick comes around is you're coming up under like this in an upward cut. And it catches on the inside, real soft, tender parts of the thigh. Real painful stuff. Actually, one shot will drop them. But you always practice 2-3 more weapons anyway, just to make sure, not to mention the hands. So we're here, the man throws the kick, coming up here, another one here, a couple hand weapons there, shot the groin, end of fight. Now, to do the foot moves, to get your movement, remember, side to side and forwards and backwards. In other words, the man backs away from you, you want to keep your close distance, so you go with him in order to attack. If he presses you a little bit, you can back up slightly in order to counterattack. If you want to flank them, go around the weapons, you go to side. Now how you do this from this close apart position here, when the legs are like this, is make your feet maybe about 6 inches apart, just like this, and the movement is real short. You see how the foot goes forwards and backwards? Now it's from the side, or here, okay, like that. You can see you got a little bit of movement going. So about 1 or
2 steps back, you can see how you cover the distance. Now if you go side to side, this foot comes out here. You don't do this because you don't want to compromise that target and get hit there yourself. So your feet are here. See, that's all it takes. 1 step to one side, 1 step to the other is what it's going to take to flank and come in on that man. Because from this distance, close in distance, there's not going to be great movement like the southern system where we had a lot of movement forwards and backwards and side to side, that sort of thing. So that's how you practice it. Get yourself close in, short step forwards and backwards. Remember how you go side to side? Keep the legs together. To practice it, put a magazine or a book in there. So when you move around, if you don't drop the magazine or the book, you know you're doing it right.
The snake fighter stands with both feet and legs together, arms out, one above the other, from a full frontal position. The elbow-to-elbow distance is minimized to protect the midsection and head. Hand weapons and parries are half-fist cobra head strikes aimed at the enemy's hands, arms, and head. Very painful whipping, stinging instep kicks are directed to the groin and the muscles in the thighs and calves. This is all accomplished by moving forwards to attack, backwards to counterattack, or side to side in order to flank and counterattack in a serpentine-like glide.
At this point, we're going to get into elbow and knee fighting. Now, elbows and knees are the hardest hitting weapons that the human body has. The only way we can hit any harder is if we have some kind of weapon, ball, bat, whatever. Now, the elbow and knee attack begins from a close stance. Like the snake style, it's a frontal type of an assault. What you're doing here is you're bringing the knees up, one right after the other, in a pump and hitting type action. At the same time, both arms are engaged in a barrage of elbow weapons. Now, when you bring the knees up, they hit from approximately groin, waist, solar plexus high. Like this. Knee up, foot down, knee up, foot down, knee up. Now the elbows are coming like this. In other words, you see how this protects the body at the same time. Now these things hit about solar plexus to the head, like so. So when you're practicing, it looks like this. Now when this elbow is up, this hand is over here to protect the midsection. And then this one comes like this. So that's how you practice the elbows. When you put it together, you bring the knee up and the elbow up like this. Step forward slightly, the next knee, the next elbow weapon comes up. Like so. Foot down, elbow and knee up. Just like that. Now you're going to have to practice this a little slow at first in order to catch on to the rhythm of it and to synchronize the movements of the weapons. Now we're going to see what it looks like when we practice with partner. Alright, now we'll get our partner over here. To practice this, start out real light and explore a little bit. For example, when you bring that knee up, make sure you have your foot as far back as it'll go to form a triangle type device. See how that looks? And just practice this full round so you can see you give a man a real jolt with this thing. Not to mention hit to the groin, but really it's the idea you can actually break a leg with one of these things. With anything remotely resembling speed and power, it doesn't take a whole lot with a strong knee weapon. Now to practice it, your man's going to have to give ground in order for him to survive, because they just can't stand this kind of punishment. For example, start out from here, hit with your knee, bring the knee up, just keep practicing, hitting legs, towards the groin, inside the leg. You can see how they start to buckle here. Now what you don't want to do is don't get any closer than the distance of the knee like this. Like don't get in here, because then a man will grab you and knock you down or whatever. You got to always keep this right distance so you get maximum hitting power on a knee weapon. Now the same thing is true of the elbow. Or in here, just push things down. So when you bring this in, it's almost like making a muscle. So you got this triangle type device. Now you make a sweep in like this, but also when you come into here, shift body weight into it so you have a weapon. See how you step back a little bit? So that's how you practice that hit. See? Boom. And one to the face. The body.
Now, you can really hit hard with this. But you got to be careful. You can't go real fast with this because you can seriously injure somebody. Remember, this elbow up, this hand is here. Now, when you put them both together, from here, you're coming in with one right after the other. Right? Got to go real slow. Sometimes you'll impact with the knee, sometimes with the elbow, sometimes with both. But all you have to remember is keep this elbow to the body, knee to the body distance. Don't get any closer than that, because this is where you get your maximum hitting power. When you hit in the chest, you'll hear his air come out of his mouth. And then you know you've got a good solid shot. Just remember to keep the knee waist high when you come in, and there's your basic posture like so. And you just keep pumping those elbows and knees. No matter what happens, you drive in, pile in, and pump those elbows and knees and go right through his body. Now we're going to learn how to integrate the elbows and knees into everything else we have. For example, if you're fighting a man in the Southern system, which we did from here, and you did a series of parry moves, a joint kick, and lead hand weapon to finish him off, pivot the balls of the feet, bring the back knee. See? There it is. There's your elbows and knees. Wham, wham, wham. Power right into the man. In the event you're in your monkey style, did some parry moves, groin kicks. There it is. That back elbow, back knee. Finish him off. Bam, bam, bam. Say, for example, you're out here doing a series of crane moves, parries and attack moves, back leg, see? There's where your elbows and knees come in to finish them off. You can see how we fit this in here. Now, if you're in high tiger, from down low from here, what you do here is the same thing. It's a forward weight shift. In other words, you hit him with a kick, weapon to the groin, the man starts to drop, shift your weight forward, there's the elbows and knees. Now you're down in low tiger, it's a little bit different, it's a little more sophisticated here. Show you from the side. We're down here, we delivered a series of kicks which stood the man straight up and down, damaged his legs. In order to finish him off, take the lead leg, place it in a position like so, leaving this hand here, rotate, pivoting around, and there's your elbows and knees. So look at that from here. See this position here. See how the foot comes back, pivot around. There's your elbows and knees. The elbows and knees are the center or the core of Poekoelan Tjimindie. It's the finishing off weapon. It's what does them in. Everything else is of secondary importance. To determine what you do is who has the attack initiative. For example, if you're fighting and a man has attacked you first, you're going to have to do Southern system, monkey style, in order to block or break up his attack so that you can regain the attack initiative and counterattack. Now, if you haven't started fighting, but it's obvious the man intends you physical harm, you can attack him with a barrage of elbows and knees before he gets his weapons off. For example, if he assumes a fighting stance in preparation to launch an attack, blast him with the elbows and knees. End of fight. On the other hand, if the man attacks you first, you're going to have to back up, defend yourself, flank, whatever, break up his attack, then counterattack with a strong dose of elbows and knees to finish him off. Not until this time you've seen me and my students do these movements. We've done it at a slow speed so you can see what's happening. We haven't done anything anywhere near fighting speed because of fear of injury to the partner, and you can't really see what's happening. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you some films or movies of some various fights, two of them to be exact. One a distance type fight, the other one elbows and knees. This done at full speed or near full speed in order to judge the effectiveness of this stuff.
As we can see by the two fights, on fight one, we see the adaptability of Poekoelan Tjimindie to a tournament environment. With some minor modifications, it was able to hold its own in that type of situation. In the second fight, which is more of a free-for-all type thing, you can see a little bit closer fighting, where you use a lot more elbows and knees. The big thing you have to learn from all this is a proper application of your body weight on all your movements. For example, when you're back here in your southern system, you put your joint kick, you got to have that weight coming in. Same thing on the back leg. When you come in with this, you have to have that weight coming forwards behind it. We look at that from the side, we see the weight coming in on the joint kick. We see the weight coming in on the back leg kick. With the hand weapons, same deal. Joint kick, see the weight coming in, forwards, through the target. Backhand coming forwards, back leg coming forwards. Same deal if it's elbows and knees. Remember your transition from here to here. Those elbows and knees, the weight's coming forwards. From the side, lead leg, lead hand, the weight is coming forwards in to the enemy. You have to remember this at all times. When you practice this, take about 6 months on the southern system. After that, about 3 months per style, depending on your experience. If you don't know very much about the martial arts, it'll take you a little longer. If you have some experience in the martial arts, it'll take a little less time in order to accomplish this. One thing you have to remember, practice slow. When you have a partner, it's crucial to practice slow, especially with those joint kicks, because you can really hurt someone. Even in practice, you come with any kind of speed. Save your speed and power for street fights. In the school, that's where you learn to make your mistakes and perfect your technique over and over and over again. If you have to practice with speed, do it on your own in a slow motion to medium to high speed, back down to slow motion type training affair. That way you learn how to control and regulate your speed and your power. You can be too fast in some fighting situations and too slow in others, because it's a matter of timing too. You can see by those tapes and those fights how the fighters would adjust themselves to the varying situation. And that's what you have to learn to do too. The ultimate fighting objective of Poekoelan Tjimindie is to be able to close in on the enemy in such a fashion as to prevent his escape and simultaneously disable him with severely painful and crippling blows ending the fight. It is a combat art based on real-life fighting experience that is versatile enough to be completely successful in the harsh, unpredictable environment of savage, no-holds-barred street fighting. Poekoelan Tjimindie is a fighting art of actions designed to achieve a purpose. These methods and tactics stem from an integrated complementary set of sound, proven physical principles that trains its students to employ an intelligent and skillful means in order to make all fighting movements achieve a pre-planned end result. The student must have an absolute belief or faith in his teacher, his art, and especially in himself, so that in a life or death fighting situation, he can be calm yet deadly.